CBS Sports coverage for Season 2 of Major League Rugby begins in Seattle, the home of the defending champions. A sold-out Stafire Stadium, testament to the magnitude of this championship replay. The fans enthusiastic to see their team just 6 months removed from lifting the shield in San Diego. With revenge in mind, Glendale start the season on the road with questions surrounding their ability to replace an exodus of star players from last year. Seattle stands salt in hand, ready to open old wounds. To win a championship is difficult. To defend it cements their legacy. So here we go, our first game of the week for the new season. Seattle Seawolves taking on the Glendale Raptors. But first, let's take a look at results from around the league. And as you can see, it has been a tight weekend with the 5-point difference yesterday in New Orleans, the biggest margin of the weekend. The Warriors, they will start their season on a bye as the league embraces expansion in 2019. 9 teams in the competition with New York and Toronto, the newcomers on the East Coast. 3 teams have started their season with a win. Round 1 finishes with last year's top 2 looking to join that list. For more on the sides, we welcome the third member of our side, Stacey Pates, down on the sideline.
I'm with fan favorite Phil Mack. And Phil, when you look back at last season, you've actually meant to keep the core group together. You did add a young 10 in Ben Sema. What are his attributes that add to your group?
Ben's great. He's brought a lot of energy to our group, and the way he controls the game, his game management is really awesome. So he's fit in really well, and now it gets down to crunch time. So we're really looking forward to see what he can provide.
The guys have done a good job. We had a pretty good pre-season and 4 seasons, so the guys have gotten integrated quickly, and we had a good couple of pre-season games, and hopefully we can keep that form going into tonight.
There's no better place to spend your Sunday night than right here as 2 of the best in Major League Rugby battle it out. It's the rematch. It's Seattle and Glendale coming up after the break.
The Andersons love to visit Seattle. There's so much to see and do. And after a long day of seeing and doing, they return to Seattle's South Side to kick back and have fun. So much fun. Come stay and play in Seattle's backyard. Seattle South Side.
Hey, Daryl.
Hey, Thomas.
If you were choosing a network, would you want the one the experts at Root Metrics say is #1 in the nation?
Sure. They probably know what they're talking about.
Or the one that JD Power says is highest in network quality by people who use it every day?
This is a tough one.
Well, not really, because Verizon won both, so you didn't have to choose.
Why didn't you just lead with that?
It's like a fun thing.
Chosen by experts, chosen by you. And now get Apple Music included on us. It's the unlimited plan you need on the network you deserve. Switch now and get $300 off our best phones.
From the start, the C-Class was ahead of its time. Still, we never stopped making it stronger, faster, smarter. Because to be the best is to never, ever stop making it better. The new 2019 C-Class family. Lease the C300 Sports Sedan for $429 a month at your local Mercedes-Benz dealer. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
When freedom is threatened around the world, when floodwaters rise and wildfires rage, wherever the fight, whoever the enemy, when America needs her best, she sends a soldier. Do you have what it takes? Find out at goarmy.com/warriors.
It's true. Humans would do anything for avocados from Mexico. No judgment. It was the 80s.
Avocados from Mexico.
At Golden Corral, enjoy the signature sirloin. Juicy, hand-carved, grilled how you like every night. And right now, hurry in for WingFest. Get as much as you want of their sweet, spicy, and boneless wings. There's something for everyone at Golden Corral.
A warm welcome back to this frigid Sunday evening clash between Seattle and Glendale, and you know the stakes are high when there isn't a spare seat in the house. Packed to the rafters for this championship rematch between two bitter rivals. And for the newly minted Seattle head coach Richie Walker, 10 of the 15 starters from last year's final are named here tonight. In the pack, South African hooker Stefan Kutsia replaces crowd favourite Ray Barkwell, with the big addition in the back line being that of USA Eagle fly half Ben Seamer. He will wear the 10 tonight for Seattle. While continuity has been key for the champions, last year's runner-up, the Glendale Raptors, have seen quite a few of their stars either retire or find new pastures in 2019. Head coach Dave Williams has shored up his front row with the addition of Auckland prop Maku Fipalawi. Also hailing from New Zealand, fullback Dylan Taikato Simpson adds a new dynamic to the Raptors. And the referee tonight will be Bali De Luca from Argentina, assisted by Scott Green and Denny Russell, both from the USA. And I welcome in my co-commentator Pete Steinberg for his final thoughts before the kickoff.
Wow, this is such a great game to be starting the season with. We have two of the best teams from last year. Obviously, they played in the final. Looking forward to another great game. This is really going to be about the stars that have switched sides. We have Hanko Kamases, the flanker from Glendale, brings his try-scoring skills, and then here we see Ben Seamer, the fly half, the young USA fly half, looking for him to run the attack for Seattle.
The boot of Ben Seamer gets proceedings underway here at Starfire as round one comes to a close, and it is the replay of the championship game, 1 versus 2. That man you mentioned, Kamases, gets first touch as Davies now shifts across to the left-hand side. Raptors will look to attack early out of their 22, showing no signs of fear from last year's final as Crusade is brought down just on his own 22 now. Settling this ball up is the Raptors. And Pete, they do play this very disciplined style inside their 22.
Absolutely, although interesting that they moved it wide. Speaking to Dave Williams, he said that we're going to see some wrinkles this year as they struggled against the Seawolves, the Seattle defense, in the final last year.
Low driving box kick from Davies finds the line up towards the 50 metres. It'll be a line out for Seattle, an area they've improved drastically in the off-season, adding some height to their pack there.
Absolutely, I think we're going to see a lot from Api Nakatini, the Fijian international, coming in at lock. I think he's going to be a major target for them in the lineup.
Nakatini working in Suva as a courier driver. Got the phone call from the Seawolves. He was on the first plane over to Seattle. Looking to make an impact here with his first touch as they go high. Seamer, early touch for the fly half. Suniula, joined by his brother Roland. Not in the 23 tonight though, Roland Suniula. Look for him to make an impact throughout his time here with the Seawolves as Hutting goes forward. Khalifi. Seamer another touch, plays flat. Out the back to Suniula now, wide pass. Turner can't escape the sideline though. That's good defense there from Glendale.
Absolutely, and you can see early on the impact of Ben Seamer. Already Seattle are playing much wider, moving the ball from sideline to sideline, really looking to stretch that Glendale defense. But as you said, Dan, they've held strong. They need just a little bit more patience, just go through those phases. An improvement in the attack is what Richie Walker is looking for today.
Let's go look at Matt Turner there, one of the former England 7 stars, 92 tries on the World Series. Potentially one of the buys of the year for 2018 was Turner, as he led the Seawolves to the inaugural championship. That kick from Davies, well fielded just outside the 22 of Seattle now. Tolatahu outside Khalifi. You can see the MVP from the championship. He wants to get a touch here. Tolatahu wants to send a message to Gary Gold and his coaching staff that his omission from the USA Eagles squad was a mistake. Rusalika. Hear the crowd roaring Rusalika. They know Willie Rusalika is a dangerous player. Suniula, a little jab through. Tiberio does well Slow ball back for Mack.
Very messy there, very messy. Disappointing, I think, from the Seawolves. I was actually going to say that when Shalom Suniolo put that kick in, I was like, poor decision. Again, really, really struggling to hold on to that ball through some phases.
And we'll go down. Stacey Pates, more on Suniula.
Of course, when you think about the changes that have been happening here in Seattle, it's great to see the brother Suniola together. I spoke with Roland prior to the game, and he said, man, I love being with my brother again. It just reignites those old memories. And, of course, you know that his brother talked about the championship shield a lot.
There he goes. Yeah, Roland transferring from Austin to Seattle this season. He will be a great pickup, especially during the representative time and through injuries. Such experience as Russellika gets another touch off Seema. And Pete, you touched on it. I'm really liking this expansive style from Seattle. Ben Seema, the key here. They struggled at 10 last year to move that ball. Seema early on, some real quality touches.
Absolutely, and they're playing with much better fluency. I think we're seeing the impact of Richie Walker coming in, even though he's only been here 2 weeks.
Here's a man to watch, DTS. Dylan Taikator Simpson. The fullback from New Zealand, being dubbed as one of the players to watch for this season as Davidson. Down and then great penalty there, Pete, and that's been their key last year as well. It's their ability to break down to force turnovers.
Absolutely. I think it's the back row of Seattle that have been the difference. Everyone talks about the seawall, and in fact, I think we were looking at the stats, Dan, and I think 7 of the top 10 tacklers in the league last year came from Seattle. That told you they played a lot without the ball, but that really comes from the back row, and the back row's ability to slow that ball down, which allows you to build the defensive wall, and then you can apply pressure. And I think we saw that. Lots of patience there, and then they were able to get their hands into the ball.
Canadian international Brock Staller will have this penalty just outside the 40-metre line for the Raptors. Probably looking closer to 45, 47 metres here. Opening points on offer for the Seawolves.
Second leading scorer in the league last year with 60 points. Big boot on this guy. This is definitely within his range.
First points on the table here for Staller. Short it does. Into the hands of McGee as he clears. Fails to clear his own halfway line though. Seattle will get another opportunity here from the line out. And just an indication, it's very, very cold here this evening, Pete. The ball not really cutting through the air.
Right, and we have to remember that this is a particular ball that's used in Major League Rugby. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but I think he just got underneath that, Dan. Just got a little bit underneath it. Wasn't able to quite get the distance he wanted.
I think he had the 9 on, he wanted the 7 there. A little bit more forgiving off the tee. Here's now the Raptors. Again, will look to work this outside the 22 McGee. Shifts wide, Crusay. Young Mika Crusay. What a pickup he has been for the Raptors. Still Glendale playing tight. McGee to his right. Finds O'Neill. Another one of these youngsters coming through.
Looks like it's a kick here. McGee's put his hand up.
Well called, Pete. Drives that one a little long off the boot though. Turner has time, no pressure. Chase, hold towards midfield for Turner. Shut down quickly, not before he gets the ball away to Tolatahu though. As Vili takes it up towards the halfway line, another little stabbing kick here from the Seawolves. This one though, that's offside. It'll be a penalty almost identical to the position they had the last one. Let's see if Staller's learnt from his previous attempt.
Right, so what happened there was the Glendale Raptor player tried to pick it up. The ball went forward, and this is even for rugby players, this is a law that isn't always well understood. If you're in front of the ball and your teammate knocks the ball on, you can't play it. You should have just let it go, but gives the penalty in a really good attacking position here. You can see really great run here by Turner. He sees the hole, wasn't a great wall, but offload there to Vili Tolatahu, and they were able to get into their phase of play.
Good to keep an eye on that as the game progresses, Pete. The Raptors on their kick chase need to be on point. Turner will punish them if given the opportunity. Stolen line out here, though, for the Raptors. They come wide. London, Shaw, Crusade. Little opening for Crusade now. Can he spread the wings? He goes out to the wing to Davidson. Davidson, though, one-on-one. Turner comes at him and brings him down. That's a big pickup for the Raptors, though. Counter ruck comes in. Takato Simpson, he flirts with the sideline before kicking through. Cook coming through, forcing pressure there. The Seawolves, though, have recovered, it would appear, for now.
2 lost lineouts in 2 attacking positions. It's going to be a problem for Seattle if they can't win their own ball.
Now Mac Wisely, the veteran, slowing things down here. Nakatini goes for a little jaunt down that blind side. Looking to open up things a little more for Ben Seamer off the right boot. This one will not find the line, though. Oh, it's a tough bounce. Tiberio cannot keep the ball in play. Davidson, he was caught in 2 minds there, a little 50-50, Pete, as he wasn't sure whether that ball was going out or staying in.
Absolutely. So from the turnover, Mike Kruse, who's just 20 years old, gets the ball to Harley Davidson. Matt Turner comes over. Not a great technical tackle there by Turner, but does enough to slow the ball down. And look at this counter ruck. It's at the breakdown that Seattle are causing problems for Glendale.
Well, we see the newly signed hooker filling the big shoes of Zach Fenolio, Chad Goff. His throw finds Cook. Well taken from Cook. And Pete, he is one of many changes to that forward pack for the Raptors as Sam Figg returns to Australia. A big loss at number 8. Connor Cook doing his best to field that. And then pulling down there against the Seawolves gives the Raptors and Will McGee what you would think would be his first chance for 3 points this year.
So the line-out is becoming a bit of a story here. A great line-out where they got the driving maul. As that maul is going forward, you have to stop it going forward as the defense. You cannot pull it down, and they're using the line-out again right here to set up the attacking opportunity. I think what they're saying, Dan, is we have an advantage in the line-out. We're not going to get the 3 points. Let's get the 5 points. They're going to catch this, and they're going to look to drive it in.
I'm looking at this Seattle pack as well, Pete. A lot of hands on hip. Just 10 minutes gone here in the first half. Maybe the Raptors feeling, though, their lungs are in better shape than the Seawolves.
Dave Williams mentioned that 2 strong preseason games against other MLR teams were really critical in their preparation. Maybe that's why they're feeling this a little bit easier.
Ball's down, well taken from Daly. Another great signing. Long-time stalwart of the San Francisco Golden Gate Club. Got his rewards last year with his first cap. Is that one unplayable? Comes down. The Seawolves will get the scrum. Plenty of pats on the back there for the forward pack for the Seawolves.
Absolutely. So the great thing about a line-out is you can set up this maul, but as the maul goes forward, you have to make sure the ball's available, because if it goes to ground and the ball is not available, the other team gets the ball. So that's basically a turnover. Great defense there by Seattle to be able to win the ball, but they're still in their own end. And this is going to be a real test. The scrum was a challenge last year. It was such a strength. It's the 2 starting props from last year for Seattle were so critical, in particular Tim Metcher at tight head. So this will be the first test for Glendale to see if they're able to match up the scrum this year.
That's a battle to keep an eye on, folks, right there on your screen. Metcher versus Rogers, the young buck. Rogers up against the experienced scrummager, former Melbourne Rebel in Metcher. And he put on a clinic more than once last season at the scrum. But Pete, a lot of these sides in Major League Rugby have been reactive to that, gone out and signed more experienced front rows this year to combat the dominance of the Seattle scrum.
Absolutely. I mean, the Seattle scrum was so dominant that they beat San Diego in the semi-final just with their scrum. And so for Glendale, they went to Auckland and they got Fipulawi, their tight head prop. Let's see. I think he's going to be a big difference. Comes in with professional experience from New Zealand. He'll be a big step up for them.
Good platform there. Both sides look for Hutting off the back. The former blue ball, Hutting. What an impact he made on his return from injury last season. Seamer, they're going wide. They're going wide here. Trouble brewing. Turner. It's a bootlace tackle from Crusade that brings him down. They continue to push forward. Nakatini, he's brandished the headgear and thrown that one away. Sima, under pressure, does well on the pickup.
Interesting, both teams running from their own half, but Seattle right there. Benzema decided to run it, ended up with a turnover.
Khalifi goes forward. It's been an interesting opening 13 minutes, Peters. Game seems to be played inside the 22s of both sides.
Both teams showing a lot of ambition to be able to move the ball, but not quite the execution at the breakdown, especially when the ball goes wide, to make it truly effective.
McGee shifts it wide, London. Here's Goff. All good hookers, just hanging out in that far touchline, looking for an opportunity.
Really stretching the field and stretching that seawall, being able to get some yards, but they have to play just a little bit quicker to be able to get that ball wide.
Just wonder how much work they did in the off-season, especially with this Seattle seawall, the defensive structure that Seattle built their championship run on. This is a different Glendale we're seeing tonight than the one we saw just 6 months ago in San Diego. As London now wide to Goff, under pressure. And Pete, you and I were talking to Richie Walker before the game, and this is the motto of their defense. We force them wide, then we blitz them.
Absolutely. And what little bit of a handling error, but what's happening right now is that Glendale can't quite play quickly enough from the breakdown. It's allowing Seattle to settle, and that's allowing them to defend even these wide attacks.
Oh, bustling run from Rogers. He gets through the first one. Looked like Prumrai there, who come off second best. Now they go wide. Ryberg. Back to the middle. Rogers again with another touch.
Great tackle there. This is what the Seawall do. They give you the ball, they let you play, and they hold up. Just ill discipline right there at the end. Lots of penalties happening here at the breakdown. I think the referee is really making a stand about what he wants, and I'm not sure that the players are listening to him.
There you go, Pete. Very impressed with their line out, but you saw Sean Davies. Give me 3 points. Let me get out of here. The Seawolves, they're defending well again.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a smart move here. I think the kick's a little bit easier. This is really a bit of a gimme for someone like Will McGee, the USA fly half. I think that we'll see them take the points. This is obviously, we're 15 points in. Neither team has been able to give it up from inside the 22. The defense is great, and Will McGee second. So you see both Will McGee and Brock Staller there in the top three. So these are the kickers, and it's 3 points on offer here for the penalty.
Of course, Sam Windsor already got his season off to a flyer. 21 points last night in Houston's win over Austin. There's now McGee. Clean strike off the ball. First points on the board. It's a lead for the Raptors on the road. 3 points to 0 over Seattle.
And the difference so far in the game is the ability to win the ball in those attacking positions. Seattle had 2 lineouts, great attacking positions. They lost both of them, and that's what let Glendale off the hook. This is a similar problem that Seattle had before, which is not being able to generate enough points. They're going to have to really do something with their lineout, and Hatting, who is their player coach, needs to sort that out in the field.
Big Australian in the 5 jersey, Luke White. No stranger to hard work is Luke White. He goes forward. Takato Simpson drives it deep. Oh, that's a touch there from Turner. DeLuca, he spots that one from a mile away, and that is not what the Seawolves wanted. Back-to-back errors, forcing them into their own half here. Now the Raptors open the door.
Uncharacteristic mistake here by Matt Turner, experienced England Sevens international. If you're not going to catch the ball, let it bounce. He put his hand out. He had no chance of catching that. Should have just let it bounce and play. Obviously felt the pressure, but a great attacking platform. And I think probably from here you're going to look at Connor Cook to see if he can come to the right with Harley Davidson, see if they can get their right shoulder up in this scrum and attack the blind side.
Scrum playable, Davies finds London. That's the quick ball they're looking for, McGee. Takato Simpson wide, Ryberg 1-on-1. Great grassing tackle brings him out near the sideline. There's a Raptors player down in back play though. Just off to the right of your screen there. Keep an eye on that. As Davies comes back to the middle. Rogers, another touch. What a busy start from Rogers. It looks like it might be Will McGee down. I'm looking for the fly half. Well, that would be not only a big loss for the Raptors, but also for the USA Eagles. Gary Gold, he'll be nibbling on those fingernails, waiting to see if McGee can respond here. There's the turnover and deep kick from the Seawolves.
But a very, very poor kick chase, giving the Raptors a chance to be able to move the ball out. Chad Koff is...
Sorry,
yeah,
Pete.
yeah, absolutely. He's a great sevens player, so you can see him using these sevens schools already.
There's Hermesses all bundled into the sideline, and now there's a little bit of push and shove. He comes with a reputation, does Hermesses, and the Seawolves, they'll have none of that in their house as Brad Tucker, freshly signed from New Zealand. He doesn't care about Honko's reputation here.
These players know each other so well. They've all played on teams. You could see them at the end. There was a little hug, Vinny going around giving everyone a little hug, but the referee's going to check with his touch judge and say, hey, was there anything there that we should be worried about? Or was it just a little bit of over-enthusiasm near the sideline?
Let's go down for an update from Stacey Pates.
Well, I love what Pete just said in terms of Billy giving hugs to guys on the sidelines when that fight could have happened. That is him. He's a peacemaker, man, and you knew when this game was going to pop off. Number 1 versus number 2, rematch from the grand final. You knew it was going to be chippy. It's still been a low-scoring game thus far. That's to be expected. Both of these teams want to win this game. They've got a shield to protect here in Seattle, but just as Pete mentioned, it was Villy. He's known as a peacemaker with really great hair, I might add, here for Seattle.
Oh, absolutely, Stacey. Probably the best hair in American sports, I dare say. I might be held accountable for that one. But Pete, second year of Major League Rugby, this has to be the best rivalry, and they've all got to start somewhere, but you can tell these sides just not happy with each other.
Interesting, so while we were listening to Stacey, the referee went and talked to Shalom Suniole, and he said, hey, just you have to calm your team down. But what he actually called was a high tackle on Hanko Hermesses.
And we will step away for a short break. When we return, the first half action continues from Seattle.
And everywhere I go, there's always something to remind me of another place and time.
In Chili Nation, we love our football, especially when our football is filled with chili. Cheese dip. This is our chili, Hormel chili. We are Chili Nation.
Selling on Poshmark is crazy simple. All you have to do is post a picture, add a description, add a price, and you're pretty much good to go. Right now I'm selling Air Jordans and Nikes and Adidas, anything really performance related or style related.
Download the free Poshmark app now.
Everything you would expect from 1 versus 2, a very tight ball game, just 3 points on the board for the Raptors. But Pete, the set piece continues to haunt the Seawolves in this opening 20 minutes.
Absolutely, they've had 2 attacking lineouts, and inside the near to the 22 of the Glendale Raptors, and they lost both of them. Those have been their 2 key attacking opportunities. I think Glendale have really come out here with a slightly different game plan. Talking to Dave Williams, he said, we knew the Seawolves is going to be tough for us to breach. We're going to have to do some new things, and you can see this wide open game really stretching the Seawolf, and it's causing Seattle to give away penalties.
Let's go down to Stacey with the newly signed Seattle head coach, Richie Walker.
You know, he's only been here for a few days now, but integrating himself right into this team. Describe what it's been like for you to be around this amazing core group of guys.
Just for me, they've been welcoming with open arms. They're such a good group, the management, all the way down through the players. So I'm excited to be here, and what a game so far.
Such a great game so far. Let's talk about shoring up those penalties.
Yes, we've had a few turnovers, so we're going to talk about that at halftime. but this is the type of game that you want. Two top teams going head to head and the score being close, so very excited.
Appreciate you, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
And Pete, there was a lot last year made of not having a head coach. Phil Mack, he took the responsibility on his shoulders. How good is Richie Walker coming into this organisation?
Absolutely. Well, I know Richie very well. I've worked with him on a number of different teams with the US women's team, and I think he's going to be a great asset and a great addition. Shane Skinner says he fits in perfectly with their culture.
Now the Raptors, off the back of that penalty, will attack inside the half of the Seawolves. As we saw many times, Harley Davidson loves pinballing his way through the defensive line. Now Fipalawi, he goes for a run. McGee, he's recovered from his knock. Oh, White, big contact as Khalifi drives the right shoulders right under the rib cage of White. Now White again, Cook. You can see this defensive wall that the Seawolves rely on. Oh, inside ball, Rogers, a flying Rogers. Did the number one fall off his back? Is that a flying winger down there? It's big man Rogers on the inside ball. Beautiful stuff from him. I've been super impressed with the start to the game for Blake Rogers.
Absolutely, so many carries, and he's created this opportunity.
Crusade tries to force the pass there, spilt forward, and the turnover. And you just think, Pete, maybe just a young head on Crusade there. Better to hold that one and reset.
Yeah, that's going to be really disappointing for Dave Williams. So much hard work. Rogers really created a tremendous line break. That got them to play fast. They'd broken the wall. All they had to do was probably one more recycle and they would score. Just tried to do a little bit too much near the line. One of the interesting things I think about the Raptors is their use of the back row. You can see that they always have two of their back row forwards, either Tucker or Khamases or Cook, out on the wing. They're really using those players to source that wide attack. That's what's allowed them to move the ball wide early on in this game.
Seattle in the shadows of their own goalpost will look to run this out. Down the blind side with Mack. Pass doesn't go to hand. He was looking for Staller there. They're forced to slow down and reset. Nakatini just shy of his 22. Mack deep to Seema. Seema clears well into the crowd, buying a little bit of breathing room for his side. The Raptors definitely look the better here for this opening exchanges, Pete.
But this is what it looked like in the final. Glendale looked better, but they're only 3 points up. Even for all of their dominance, their ability to be able to hold on to the ball, they've got an edge in territory. They have a huge edge in possession. They've got 63% of the possession, but they've only got 3 points. So you can have the ball against Seattle. It doesn't mean that you're going to score. They have to provide a little bit more patience and a little bit more accuracy.
Tap down for Davies under pressure. Tolitahu. No surprise, a big crowd favourite here is Tolitahu, the Hawaiian native. Celebrated a birthday yesterday, turned 25. You remember being 25, Pete?
I do not. Too long ago.
I don't think I looked as good as Villy does when I was 25, but the turnover comes. Here's Hutting. We've seen Ricard Hutting in the open before. Nakatini off his right shoulder. And Khalifi, how about that? Three forwards linking up there. Seema, that means some backs are out here and they're ready to fly. Rasalika, Tiberio on his outside. Davidson does well to bring Tiberio down just short of the try line, but it's the Seawolves on attack. Seema goes short, Metcha. Well met there. Looks like Ryberg's come in off the wing to make that tackle. Good work from the winger, Ryberg. As the crowd starts their chant, that one could be offside against Daly. Yes, it is. DeLuca does not miss a thing.
Lazy, lazy, lazy play there. You're coming from the wrong side. You're coming from your own side. He was walking back and he kicked the ball. But what you saw there when Hatting picked up that ball and broke is what this Seattle team does. They are incredible in transition, and you saw the forwards just linking and linking, creating that opportunity. That's what they live off. They live off the errors of Glendale, and that's what won them the game in the final.
There you see Brock Staller missed his first attempt at penalty. earlier in the first half. This one, a much easier kick for the right-footed Staller. Looking to tie things up here. There you see a better look at the kick.
So I think that we'll see how his strike is. The last time he got a little bit under the ball, that left it short, but this one is well within his range. He just needs to get it accurate, get some accuracy, and Seattle, like they were last year, will be tied up, even though they've been on the back foot.
You can always tell when the kicker turns and runs back. It's a good strike. No mistake. 3 points apiece, all locked up here at Stafire Stadium.
Well, this is what Seattle do. They play well without the ball, then you make a mistake, and they put themselves under pressure. We should go all the way back to the Cruze turnover, 5 meters from the line. That's where this game turns so far in this half. Glendale have to be accurate. They have to minimize their errors.
He gets us underway. Harting. Such a dynamic 8. Become wide. Zia picks up Khalifi on his right shoulder. Seema under pressure. Looks to find the ground. Instead finds McGee on the fly. And here's a chance to counter for the Raptors. McGee will go high. Takato Simpson on the chase. May have been a little impeded there. Referee DeLuca happy to let it play as Seema tries to thread the needle again. His USA teammate McGee, though, well, he's reading it. And now Turner. Turner may run. There's a big hole in front of Turner. Turner slices right through. Turner isolated, needs some support. Takato Simpson, great one-on-one tackle. 15 on 15. Here goes the Seawolves, though, with Seema. Opens up right in front of him onto the 22. Mack. His fly half caught in the ruck, will go to Suniula. Suniula again looks for the little kick through. The chase was there. No one at home for the Raptors. It's deflected in the front line. Nakatini, two-step, offload. Tiberio spinning, can't get to the line though, Tiberio. Well, he's figured out Nakatini has an offload now. Can he roll over Nakatini, the big Fijian? He's brought down just inches from the line here. Numbers to the left, numbers to the right. The Raptors, they're scrambling. Well, one-off running will not get it done in this part of the field. They've got some opportunities, both sides. They need some quick ball. It is stagnant, though. The Raptors have done extremely well to stop that. As Crumwright goes forward, they will reset here the Seawolves. Tolatahu picks up Khalifi. Khalifi. Here's the rock on which they build quick ball. Around to the right one more time here. Seattle looking to score the opening try of the game. The crowd, well, they have been very vocal already, Pete Steinberg. If they can get over the line here, they may blow the roof off this stadium.
Absolutely, but this ball's just a little bit too slow. Need to speed it up.
Spinning. Mecha looks like he's over. He is over. There's 5 points. And the forwards, they get it done.
Well, so much for speeding it up. I guess slow and steady wins the race there, Dan. I think that was, a really good patience there by Seattle. Some great effort by Glendale. But again, it's coming down to Glendale's errors. There was a bit of a kicking contest going on between two USA fly halves. And it turns out it's the one that didn't make the team that won that kicking contest with that break by Matt Turner. And so you can see lots of effort here, get very close to the line. It's all about body position. You can see Mecha get underneath. He was able to get underneath, and because he was able to get underneath, the low shoulder wins. He was able to drive over despite some effort. And Glendale are going to have to pick themselves up. They've had the upper hand, but they find themselves down by 5 points.
Well, the king of the scrum, Tim Mecha, gets it done, ball in hand. The opening try for 2019 for the Seawolves as they extend their lead 8 points to 3. Conversion to come here for Staller. Pete, you touched on it. It was Glendale knocking on the door just 5 minutes ago. Now it's turned in to a 10-point shift with that conversion. 10 points to 3.
And Seattle really showing how dangerous they are in transition. So a kick is a transition in possession, and the kick is only as good as the kick chase. Matt Turner, not known for his kicking, always a runner first, looked up, saw that hole, and was able to go through it. So this is about Glendale being able to hold on to the ball and control the game.
McGee deep again, finds Hutting. Hutting just charges back into the line. Fearless leader of this forward pack. Seema awaits in the pocket. Clears to his right, doesn't find the line again. Cartel Simpson comes into McGee, he bounces back. Crusade. There's no doubting the attacking prowess of Mika Crusade. Rogers. I'd love you to put the stats up on Rogers. How many touches has Blake Rogers had in this opening 30 minutes? Out the back door, London. And again, Pete, how impressive is the defense of Seattle?
They just keep soaking it and keep soaking it. Their tackle completion rate is really high. Fast ball here, though.
And numbers to burn. Out to Goff again, lurking out the outside center position. He goes inside the 22 of the Seawolves. This is where they've come undone, though, Glendale, thus far. Need to calm themselves. Numbers, McGee, little chip over the top, no one home, needs the bounce. Turner does well to get back, will come back to the 22, and you would think a bit of a nothing kick there.
Well, I think he saw that there was a penalty advantage. So one of the great things in rugby is that when the referee sees an infringement, he doesn't have to blow the whistle immediately. And as a player on the field, if you hear the referee say advantage, it means you can try something. And that, I think, was what McGee was saying. He said, we've got advantage, I'm going to do a little kick. If I can chase it and score, we'll get that. And if I don't, the referee will pull it back. Interesting choice to kick to touch. Again, their line-out has been working really, really well. One of the things I think that's interesting about their line-out is their drive. They angle their drive into the field of play, I think, to set up eventually an attack down the short side where the line-out came from. But so far, their line-out has been functioning pretty well.
Fine. Vermasage at the back, he cannot handle. And Tolatahu. He picks up the loose ball for Seattle. Another turnover from the Raptors down in Seattle's red zone. Seema safely puts that one over the sideline. And Pete, that's really been the story, hasn't it? Glendale's inability to maintain pressure when they've got their opportunities.
Absolutely. So they had the line out. I had commentators curse, said it was looking good. Just the timing wasn't quite there. As you could see, the throw was just a little bit late. It was from two new players. So you've got Chad Goff going to the jumper that was Hanko Kamase's. That timing is something that needs lots and lots of reps.
Again, this time O'Neill can't handle at the line out. Another turnover. As the Seawolves go for a run, little kick through Ryberg. Misses on the first. Cleans up on the second. Takato Simpson, little chip over the top. He'll get the bounce too. Sits up, oh no, beautiful stuff from Seema under pressure. I thought DTS had the bounce of the ball there and he was gone as Tolitahu now over halfway for the Seawolves.
We're seeing a little bit of what we saw in the final, Dan, last year, which is when Glendale under a little bit of pressure, think cracks begin to show and their well-oiled machine doesn't work quite as well. So 2 line-out misses in a row after they've gone down, having been dominant in the line-out.
I think I've got to give you some credit there, Pete Steinberg. The ability for Seattle to transition, you've mentioned it a few times. Every time there's a turnover, they go quickly onto the attack, and it has paid dividends for them here in the first half.
And here we go, Glendale finding themselves all the way on the back, although they have space wide if they're willing to go for it. Lots of space out there.
McGee notices that long lofted pass wide to Daly. Daly, can he get his arms free? No, good defense. Brings the number 6 down on the 40-meter line off the Glendale Raptors.
Just a little bit too slow out here. Lets the defense set.
Now London, Crusade. Oh, pressure comes up. What a great read there from the Seawolves. Takato Simpson. And the turnover, Mack can't handle though, that one spilled forward. Well, there are troubling signs here for the Raptors as cracks are starting to appear in their defensive line. Well, the Seawolves, again off the backbone of that strong defensive structure, appear to be in a dominant position, Pete.
Absolutely. So I think, again, Glendale are getting a little bit out of what they normally do. Early on in the game, they would move that ball wide and then they would have a box kick. And here they are. They're only 7 points down, but they're trying to force it. And they're trying to force it inside their 22. That's not how they're going to win this game. They need to get out, relieve their pressure. They need to use their good kicking game. They've got two of the best kickers in the league, and just having them not use it there just shows a little bit. They need some leadership and just calm down.
Great shot. Off the scrum, the steam rising here. As the thermometer drops close to the 0 point. 32 here in the Fahrenheit. Freezing no matter where in the world you are. Turner again with time.
Get there.
Low driving kick. And that's the bounce that Takato Simpson wanted just a few moments ago from his own kick. As Seema does well. Go recover. He may counter here, Seema. Likes the options to that right side. McGee's done a great job of reading the boot of Seema. You can tell these two know each other quite well from their time together with the USA Eagles.
But these kicks really aren't doing much. They're not forcing players back and they're not finding grass.
Cutting. No risk of the big man kicking, that's for sure, as he goes up to his own 40. Mack floats one wide. Zia Rusalika lets that go wisely out to Stoller. One-on-one with Ryberg. Physically, probably two of the bigger wingers in the competition, Ryberg and Stoller.
Absolutely. We saw Peter Tiberio leave his line and come up and make the hit, and Ryberg was going to do that on Rusalika if he'd caught it.
Leafy spots a little opening there to the left-hand side, and off he goes. Kutsia, South African hooker. Leafy again. Could be off the feet there. DeLuca looking close.
Great call, Dan. Great call. So when you come in for the ball, you have to be able to take your own weight on your feet. You can't lose your feet and put your hands in. And I think the referee came in and he actually said, hey, let go of that ball. And if Cook had let go of it, he would have played on and it wouldn't have been a problem. But because he didn't let go, here we go. There's a chance for Seattle to put the pressure on. So let's see. Right now, if you're struggling in the line out, what you want to do is you want to go short, drop a couple of forwards. It's a little bit easier to win that line out when you're short. That's what I would do for Seattle. Drop it down to a 5-man line out. Just win the ball. Don't worry about setting up your drive.
A solid debut for the Seawolves. The man on your screen there, Ben Seema. He has led this back line very effectively in the opening 37 minutes. This last couple of minutes before the halftime break, critical for both these sides. Seattle would love some more points to extend their lead. Glendale would like a shot of their own. Tolatahu, that is not a pass that he wants to throw there as he flicks it out the back. Crusade, he jumps right on the loose ball. Now the Raptors will have a chance to say, not releasing as well. 2 in a row mistakes from the Seawolves.
Just a little messy. So they did drop a player. Little bit of pushing and shoving, getting to know each other a little bit or a little bit better. But in that line out, Seattle did drop one player that allowed them to win it, but then really became scrappy. So this game has been played at a really high pace in this first half, and I think what we're seeing is in this last 5 minutes, there's a little bit of tiredness, a little bit of some penalties from losing our feet, a little bit of throwing the ball around. First game of the season, Dan, you know what it's like. It doesn't matter how much training that you've done. And it doesn't even matter how many preseason games, the added intensity really takes it out of you, and we'll see that in the last few minutes of both halves.
Well, ever since you complimented their line-out, they've had some troubles. He's been silent leading up to this one. Let's see if the Raptors, they go to the safe hands of Daly. Davies down short. London, great pickup from McGee. Low pass. Well, it appears to me, Pete, you might be able to comment on this with your coaching resume. Glendale just not going forward before going wide, just shifting the ball side to side at the moment.
Well, we know from talking with Richie Walker that they are playing right into the hands of Seattle, who are saying, we want you to move it wide, and then we're going to slam the door. We're going to take away all the space out there. So I think you're right. A little bit more of getting those tight 5 forwards, a little bit more of Rogers and White through the middle will be useful.
And that is the man White you were talking about. Great run from him right to the middle of the field here. On the 22, they'll attack McGee. Plays the second man, London just loses his footing. That was a chance after there as Rusalika shot out of the line.
But that opportunity came from feeding White, who was able to generate that go forward. So Dan, we know what they need to do. It'll be interesting to see if Dave Williams can tell them what to do at halftime.
So Goff up there as the Raptors begin to move this ball. Advantage coming, and now here's an interesting decision, Pete. 3 points on offer, very close to the halftime break, down by 7.
I think you have to take the 3 points. When you get past the 40-minute mark, the game is going to end at the next stoppage. That's why you see our time go red. And this will be the last play. So after this kick, we're done. Therefore, you've got to take that 3 points. Then Glendale's only down by 4. Dave Williams can get them into the changing rooms and make some adjustments. This is a kick that you would expect USA International Will McGee to be able to make most days. Most days. I've had a bit of the commentator's curse in this half, Dan, so I'm not going to put my money on anything anymore.
Raptors fans back in Colorado will be begging for silence from you, Pete, as this game progresses. Big kick coming up here for McGee, right on the stroke of halftime. Flags go up. It is successful, 10 points to 6, and that will take us through to the halftime break. An enthralling battle early on here. Everything we were looking for in this championship rematch. We'll take a break. When we return, all the highlights from the first half action.
The Andersons love to visit Seattle. There's so much to see and do. And after a long day of seeing and doing, they return to Seattle Southside to kick back and have fun. So much fun. Come stay and play in Seattle's backyard. Seattle Southside.
Hey, Daryl.
Hey, Thomas.
If you were choosing a network, would you want the one the experts at Root Metrics say is #1 in the nation?
Sure. They probably know what they're talking about.
Or the one that JD Power says is highest in network quality by people who use it every day?
This is a tough one.
Well, not really, because Verizon won both, so you didn't have to choose.
Why didn't you just lead with that?
It's like a fun thing.
Chosen by experts, chosen by you. And now get Apple Music included on us. It's the unlimited plan you need on the network you deserve. Switch now and get $300 off our best phones.
It's absolute confidence in 30,000 precision parts. Or it isn't. It's inspected by Mercedes-Benz factory-trained technicians. Or it isn't. It's backed by an unlimited mileage warranty. Or it isn't. For those who never settle, it's either Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned, or it isn't. The Mercedes-Benz certified pre-owned sales event now through February 28th. Only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
We tried 2 different real estate agents who both promised great results, but after almost a year on the market, we still hadn't sold our house. Then we found HomeLight, which promised to get us in touch with the top agents in our area. We went with the agent they recommended, and it worked. HomeLight's agent sold our house when the others couldn't.
HomeLight compares data on millions of agents, so you know you're getting the best agent for your needs.
Oh yeah, we recommend HomeLight.
Get started for free today at homelight.com.
They'll test you. Try to break your will. But however loud the loudness gets, however many cheese puffs may fly, you're the driver, the one in control. Stand firm. Just wait. And move only when you hear the click that says they're buckled in for the drive. Never give up till they buckle up.
expectations are sky high. The atmosphere is sure to be electric.
So check it.
Well, here we go. We're underway. Nice pass.
What a move that was.
He can beat you in a lot of ways. Dynamite. Out deep. Whoa! That's going to slam. Woo! Leaving it all out there. Whoa, what a shot. That's great college basketball. Yeah.
NFL Monday quarterback. Super Bowl champ Tom Brady and the Patriots take home the Vince Lombardi Trophy, or will Jared Goff help the Rams claim this year's title in his very first Super Bowl appearance, only on CBS Sports Network? And welcome back to Seattle, where the score is 10 points to 6, and everything you would expect this weekend, round one of Major League Rugby. It has delivered, Pete Steinberg. This game following that script as well, a very tight one between these two sides.
Absolutely, and this game has really been played at a tremendous pace. The quality of play out there is absolutely phenomenal, and I really think that the team that's going to hold on to the ball near the line is going to be one that's really, really important. And it's going to win this game, and we've seen that today with Glendale. But Glendale, the one time they got near to their pitch, so near to the line, they were able to get over the line by using their forwards very, very slowly, edging forward, getting over and over the line, and eventually Tim Metcher gets his shoulder underneath the defender and is able to spin. You can see that first it's Tilatawi and then Tim Metcher twisting and turning, just getting that ball over the line. And Dan, all you need to do is get that ball on the line, downward pressure, and it's a try.
And a penalty off the boot of Brock Staller, 2 off the boot of Will McGee, takes us through our halftime score, 10 points to 6. When we come back, the build-up continues to the second half.
Bandit 3, this is Fox 2-3. Can you see that contact to our front? Man, it's Fox 2-3, out. Mark from the trade for fire.
There are those who choose a different path in life. A path of selflessness, of service. A path that leads to freedom. Do you have what it takes? Find out at goarmy.com/warriors.
1 millionth order.
Millionth order.
There goes our first big order.
44, 45, 46. How many of these did they order?
Oh, that's hot.
You know, we could sell these.
Nah.
We don't bake.
Opportunity. What we deliver by delivering.
I went through your return line by line and everything looks great.
Oh, good.
We're here to help.
I'm actually calling you from my yacht.
You know they can't see you right.
Is that true?
Oh, she's right.
You kidding me? Spent $9 on this coconut.
TurboTax Live, now with CPAs on demand.
It's true. Humans would do anything for avocados from Mexico. No judgment. It was the 80s.
Avocados from Mexico. Are you getting the most out of your Medicare plan? Are you sure? Many people with Medicare are eligible for plans that include extra benefits in addition to those found in original Medicare. Benefits like dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free with no obligation to enroll. In addition to hospital and medical coverage, at no extra cost, you could also get coverage for prescription drugs, dental, hearing, vision, and more. In many areas, plans with benefits are available with $0 copays for many services, $0 monthly premiums, or $0 deductibles. That's hospital, medical, prescription drug, dental coverage, and more included in one plan with premiums that may be as low as $0 a month. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free and there's no obligation to enroll.
Call 800-964-0593. That's 800-964-0593.
When it's time to sell your home, there's a lot of money on the line. How can you trust your real estate agent will get it right? There's good news. With HomeLight, you can compare actual performance data on thousands of agents near you, so you know who sells quickly, who sells for the best price. We'll match you with the perfect agent for your needs. And best of all, it's free. Sell your home for more money. Go to HomeLight.com today.
It has been a war of attrition in the opening 40 minutes. Everything you would expect from these two top sides. And we will go down onto the sideline to hear from Stacey Pates, who's with the Seawolves owner, Shane Skinner.
And he is with a really fun ring right now, too. He let me wear this. What? I don't see anything different about me right now. This is some beautiful bling. Thank you for letting me wear this. I may or may not give it back. I know
crazy. Like, there's a lot of diamonds going on.
It's absolutely beautiful. So the last time I saw you, you were playing Glendale in San Diego, and you came away with the shield. So how do you, right? Yeah. You retained the core of your guys, but how do you retain the shield?
Well, that's it. I mean, to your point, continuity, having the same team in place, building off that foundation. We only brought in a few key players. We had a great preseason, but the biggest part of it is, just our culture. Culture wins championships. Culture creates dynasties, and we just have a culture between the fans, the front office, the players, coaching. We're all on the same page, heading in the same direction, and like we say, together we hunt. We're doing it together, right? And we're going to do it together again.
And together you got rings right here at home tonight, and I have the pleasure of wearing this beautiful one. Gorgeous, gorgeous ring, well fought effort, much deserved effort. And taking a look at the ring ceremony right now for the fans at home, what does it mean for you? This is such a great sports city, and when you think about right, so when you think about what this team has brought also to the city, talk about receiving the rings here tonight.
That was awesome. I mean, for our fans, it's like the perfect ingredient for success here in Seattle. You've got the best, sports fans in the world, rugby fans, combined with what I think is the best sports city in America, Seattle, and you put the two together, something very special, right? And I mean, I had, no more enjoyment than giving the boys their rings. It was the first time they've seen the rings, and doing it in front of our incredible fan base. It's pretty special.
A great fan base for sure. Shane Skinner, thank you so much. We appreciate you as always, and I know that the fans mean a lot to you and your team means a lot to them. We're going to take a short break. Stay tuned, though. More from Seattle after these messages.
The Andersons love to visit Seattle. There's so much to see and do. And after a long day of seeing and doing, they return to Seattle's South Side to kick back and have fun. So much fun. Come stay and play in Seattle's backyard. Seattle South Side.
We wanted to sell our home and at the best price, and we needed a real estate agent who could get that done. We're so glad we found HomeLight. HomeLight ranks over 1 million agents based on their actual track record. They crunch the numbers to figure out who is best in your neighborhood, who can sell your home for the most money. HomeLight matched us with Alex. He sold our home in only 2 days for $40,000 over asking. When it's time to sell, the place to go is HomeLight.com.
Starting tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Eastern, CBS Sports Network is live from Atlanta as we keep you up to date with the most important news analysis leading up to the big game. Don't miss Super Bowl Live all week long on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Going to be a good one, isn't it? The Patriots, Tom Brady looking for 6. Jared Goff, Todd Gurley looking for 1.
Well, with my commentator's curse, who do I go for?
No one. We're not going to watch it. We're going to watch rugby. And we've got an absolute cracker of a game on our hands here, Pete Steinberg. 10 points to 6. It's the home side in the lead by a slender margin of just 4 points. But adjustments at halftime, what are you doing?
Well, I think, we talked about it a bit in the first half. I think Glendale have really played into the Seattle's defensive plan by moving the ball wide too early. They're trying to stretch them, but that's how Seattle want you to play. So I think for Glendale, it's about attacking through the middle and creating that opportunity to go wide and use their back row forwards like Hanko Kamases and Connor Cook and Brad Tucker. I think for Seattle, I think it needs to be, we need to find a little bit more of an attacking pattern. When the ball's in their hands, they've got the ball, they're amazing in transition, but they don't have a lot of patience on attack. After 2 or 3 phases, they're looking to kick. They've got some attacking players. They've got Resalika, they've got Mac Turner, they've got these players out around the outside. And of course, Ricard Hadding that we haven't seen much. I think as the game breaks down, you'll see the big number 8 using the space that's created as players get tired to create some line breaks.
Well, we saw the ring ceremony. You don't win rings in January and February, but you sure can lose them. Both these sides would love to get off to a winning start here in round 1 of Major League Rugby. There you see the Seattle Seawolves. They did lose both regular season games last year to the Raptors. The one that mattered, though, they got the win. For Glendale, they will start on the road for their opening weeks. How important it is for them to get a road win here tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw it last year that home field advantage was key, and Glendale were able to come here and win that game. I think one of the keys of the second half is going to be the bench, and I'm looking forward to seeing JP Smith, the young South African scrum half for Seattle, coming off the bench, and then Al Jabori, the 7-star for the US in the back row, coming off for Glendale.
Here's the Raptors kicking off here to get the second half underway. As the Seawolves, after a slight juggle, do well to maintain possession just inside their 22. Mack. Box kicks high. Well fielded though from Masays. Quiet night for the number 7 for the Raptors thus far. But as we've seen in the past, he can turn it on in the blink of an eye.
Absolutely. High tackle, and there's an advantage here to Glendale, so they have a chance to make something happen.
There is that man, Hermes, looking to get things done out on the touchline. Advantage to the Raptors, would cut the lead to just 1 with a penalty. And DeLuca, well, 2 infringements there. Take your pick. Tough angle though, if McGee does want to take a shot from here, Pete.
Absolutely. Well, that's part of a recent change in the law. If there's 2 penalties, you can now choose which one you want. But I think they'll take this one because they're going to put it to touch. I think immediately what we saw from Glendale is the challenge of them physically taking on Seattle. As they took that ball forward, they did not accept the tackle, and they were able to drive their feet, generate that go forward.
Already some changes coming in here for the Raptors, Pete, as we see William Munro on the field, the young Australian replacing Cody O'Neill in the lock position. Some changes at the break from Dave Williams.
Absolutely, and talking with Dave earlier on this week, he talked about the need for integration with some of these new players. And of course, coming into last year's season, the Raptors had so much continuity, but these new players caused a little bit of disruption, and we've seen that in the second half of the first half in their line-out. Let's see if they're able to solve it here in this line-out.
Munro, early touch. He's strong. White peels off. Tolatahu tries to grab him by the horns and bring him down, the Raging Bull.
Opportunity here for Glendale. They need to score, and they need to be accurate and hold on to the ball.
Well, there's pressure coming. They've got to score. They do score wide. What an opening start to the second half for the Raptors. They draw first blood, and they retake the lead.
You know, it's so interesting for Glendale and how they play. When they get up they can play some great stuff. They were really struggling. It's one of the few times they've actually come to the blind side. Normally they've gone wide, but they came back to the blind side, and Tyke Tor Simpson gets his opening try in his debut. Nice and easy. Look, shows it a little bit. Able to get the ball around the outside. Too much, really too easy, I would say, for the Seawolf right there. A little bit too easy, but he'll be very pleased with that score early on in his Glendale Raptors career.
Well, another man from the same origin of birth goes by 3 names, SBW. DTS could become a household name very quickly in Major League Rugby as well. As McGee, tough conversion from the sideline. Just a 1-point lead here for the Raptors. Pressure, McGee. What a strike there from the fly half. 13 points to 10. The Raptors, they start this second half exactly how head coach Dave Williams would have wanted.
And of course, in rugby, wherever you score, that's where you have to take the conversion from. So that's why the score was so wide. But what a great strike. He'll be feeling pretty good. I think the Raptors will feel pretty good. Now it's about the kickoff. We've seen this weekend kick receipts be a challenge. They just have to be accurate to be able to clear their lines.
Can't spin away from the defense there. Oh, yes, he can. Yes, he can. Hunko can do more than spin away. Hunko can break another tackle. Look at Hermesais go. He goes 60 down here into the Seawolves half. And now the Raptors, they have come out of the gates firing here in the second half with White. He goes wide. Long pass to Cook. Drawing past Ryberg on his outside. Cook now to Ryberg. One-on-one. Seymour can't get Ryberg. And the Raptors have taken it coast to coast.
Wow, well that's why you buy one of the stars of US Rugby. Maybe not buy. That's why you acquire one of the stars of US Rugby. And it looks like, again, a little bit of argy-bargy happening. This is the rivalry, as you said. There is not a better rivalry, so they are not going to take anything here. No steps back. Great take. I'm not sure what happened. It looked like he disappeared into the ruck, but you have to be held, and you have to, and he never even went to ground. So really just some poor tackling, and then look at this. Matt Turner able to get him down, and then it's the quick ball and the ability to be able to move the ball wide that got it to Cook, and Cook was able to offload nicely to Ryberg, and big, strong, look at those thighs, able to drive through and put it down, and then let's see what happens here. Oh, okay, I think people just fell into each other, and then Luke White ends up pushing, and we end up pushing back and forth.
I think if you look in the replay, Tolatahu pushes Davies down just onto the right of your screen there, and Luke White took exception to that, and then it was just a car crash after that. Players coming in everywhere. Referee DeLuca has a quick chat to the Seawolves just to calm them down, and they look a little shell-shocked, Pete.
They do. I don't think they know exactly what's happened, but what we know that's happened is that they've missed their tackles, and that's not the way it works for the Seawolves. And as I would say for Sean Davies, I would go up and I'd give Luke White a little hug. As a scrum half, you always want the big boys to look after you when something happens, and Luke White was doing his job there.
Listen, Luke White, big, aggressive player. He'll come at you if you tie your shoelaces wrong. He doesn't need an excuse to get physical, Luke White. And sticking up for his scrum half, Sean Davies. No exception, 18 points to 10. Big kick coming up here for McGee. That one he misses, much as to the crowd's delight, jeering the kicker. And now the Seawolves find themselves on the back foot as we take another look at the replay. Let's see if you can see it at the back here. Just watch Davies. There you go, the push in the back. And then, well, it escalated quickly from there, didn't it?
And then a little bit Ryberg right there playing a little bit of peacemaker. But a little bit of frustration here, so a big test here for the Seawolves.
Tolatahu better be careful. Stacey Pates doesn't grab him. He's meant to be the peacemaker, and he's in there instigating trouble. She finds out there could be trouble as White plays out the back. That one's built forward. Here's an opportunity. Toe through for the Seawolves. Needs the bounce. Doesn't get the bounce. Knocked forward. And he may have picked up an injury as well. That's Crusade in back plays, limping heavily, Crusade.
Wow, they're really playing a risky game. They've come out to play really fast and wide, but if the ball's not good enough, you're going to be in trouble. And a little bit of a knock on there, but I think that was Tucker, Brad Tucker. You can see comes through, Rasalika comes through, Tucker kicks it on. Anyone can kick in rugby, and all he needs to do is get that downward pressure over the line, but because he knocked it on, it's a scrum to Glendale, and yet again, let's see if Glendale scrum can hold up under the Seattle pressure.
Good put in there for Davies as he goes to the back. Ball is playable. London. Big physical inside centre. Here's Chad London. Munro now. Excited to see Will Munro and what he can do for this Raptors side as McGee clears well. Down to the halfway line. Here's Turner. Drop goal. Strikes good from Turner. Will not have the leg, so as it falls under the crossbar. Interesting option there from Matt Turner.
It's interesting, and I'm surprised you don't see this more often, because when you go for the drop goal, and if it's missed and it goes dead through the try zone, then it's a 22 dropout, which really means Turner's going to get the ball back where he kicked it. So it's not a bad option, but not too far away. I mean, that was a pretty long kick. But he's going to get the ball back now to be able to do it again, maybe.
You know, he's taking that early step out onto the driving range, just getting his distance so he can be in contention come Sunday. A little golf reference there for the viewers at home. And now Mack on the halfway line. Well, this game teetering either way at the moment. Seema spots a little opening. It closes quickly though. Goff does well. Tolitahu, quick hands. Here's Stoller in a bit of open space. Haven't seen much of Brock Stoller down this wing tonight. There he gets a chance to run. Back towards the middle of the field. Seema inside, outside. Pops it out the back. Kutsia. Now Rasalika. Big Willie Rasalika. He straightens the attack off his left foot.
Twice Ben Seema took the ball to the line and looked to offload, and that first one was phenomenal, and it's really put the Seattle forwards on the front foot, allowing them to play with some pace.
They really need some points here, Pete. 15 unanswered points for the Raptors leading into this. Seawolf short ball. Oh, the line was open. Could not get hands on the ball at a critical moment. Spilt forward, will come out. We'll see where the referee brings this, probably to the 5 for another scrum. We are back in a very similar position as Crumry. The line beckoning.
And you can see the frustration of Phil Mack when he had that opportunity. You can see as the ball comes out, we're wondering, it's slow ball, but then they attack the line, and then watch this offload. So maybe being around some of these Fijians is really allowing Ben Seema to work on his offload, because that was just beautiful. That's what Seattle are going to need to do. They're going to need to be able to play at that pace and play flat, but they also need to take these opportunities. We said, Dan, at halftime, the team that's going to win is the team that when they get inside 5 meters, actually score.
There is Ben Seema, comes into this season with a weight of expectation. Always difficult coming in as a free agent to the champs. You know, he's coming into a championship side. They're at the top of the mountain, and now Ben Seema is tasked with keeping them there.
Well, we were talking with Richie Walker a little bit earlier, and he said, I think Richie's going to be great for Ben Seema, but he said to Ben, this is your team. You have the keys. You can do whatever you want. And I think Ben's response was, I've never had that before. So this is going to be a great opportunity for him to grow throughout the season. We will not see the best of him today, but as the season goes on, this young US star is going to be able to do a lot of good stuff. Interesting to see JP Smith on at halfback, the new South African scrum half. This might be the first time Phil Mack has ever been subbed out by the Seattle Seawolves. I think last year he played every minute of every game that he was available.
And some changes up to the front row. There you see Mack replace, and very different styles, Smith and Mack, isn't it? You're going to see a different Seattle attacking platform with JP Smith playing in the scrum half position.
Well, they're going to be able to move the ball a little bit quicker, but they're not going to be so dynamic in transition, and they're probably going to lose one of their best defenders. Phil Mack had over 100 tackles last year. He was one of the top 2 defenders in the league. But it'll be a great opportunity for JP Smith to be able to play 2 young halfback kids playing together for Seattle.
2 South Africans at scrum half as try scorer Ryberg gets around 1, and Smith, his first tackle is a strong one, brings Ryberg down, which is no easy feat. White now, big man again, he'll put in a good shift tonight. White goes forward, slow ball here for Davies.
This is smarter play by the Raptors. If you remember at the end of the second half, they were trying to run it from this, but much smarter to be able to use their kicking game.
Turner takes this one, can't evade Ryberg, now finds Hutting. That's a good win for the Seawolves as they have the ball inside the Raptors halves now. Khalifi at the back door, Seamer under pressure, floats that pass. And Tucker probably should have let that one go. His hand deflected the ball, and now the turnover comes for the Raptors through Crusade. As Davies spots a little opening. Munro may have called that kick. Under pressure, now the Seawolves. We've gone from one end of the field to the other, Pete, and they are scrambling to get back here, Seattle.
Wow, some great vision there by Sean Davies. Got the ball from the turnover, looked up. So when you're on attack, all of your players are up and they're ready to get the ball in their hands. But on those turnovers, some of the people that are the hardest to get into the right position are the wings and fullbacks, the people on the outside. So when that turnover happened, Davies saw that the wing wasn't back and was able to kick to that space. And you're right, we went from a 5-meter scrum, 5 meters from Glendale's line, and now we've got a 5-meter scrum from Seattle's line with Glendale's ball. Great opportunity. There's a chance to really put a lot of pressure on Seattle, get this score. It's going to be 2 scores up. It's going to be hard for them to come back, even though there's still 30 minutes to go.
It has been a long, dry spell for the Seawolves. No points since that Metcha try in the first half. You can tell whatever Dave Williams had to say at halftime, assistant coach Pete Ballways to his forward pack, they've made those adjustments. They're going forward now in numbers as Daly takes his ball across field. Now Hermesses. Sunula up quickly to nullify Hermesses.
Harley Davidson all the way on the right wing on his own. He's going to be available for the cross kick.
Keep your eye on number 10, McGee. It's almost become his calling card, his signature, if you will, in Major League Rugby. It's a cross kick. He's starting to shuffle now. He's just sitting in that pocket. He'll play the handling error, and this is very similar to what we saw in the first half. Glendale doing well, turnovers down the red zone.
So I think Glendale do really well against Seattle when they're able to play at pace, when they're able to create those line breaks, get beyond the defense and play quickly. But as soon as that ball slows down, Glendale are really struggling to break down that seawall. And I think that's when they need to be a little bit smarter, maybe come back to the blind side like they did in their try earlier this half. So I think what we want to see from Glendale in those situations is to be a little bit more inventive as opposed to just coming around the corner with their forwards.
Big scrum coming up here for Seattle. Smith with the put in, under pressure though in their 22, cutting at the back. Smith to Stoller. Stoller back to Tontau. You see Smith back into the pocket. Pass to Seamer. Seamer does well. Driving kick off the right boot. Well up over the halfway line, right on the halfway line to be clear. And this will be a Raptors line out. Pete, they get themselves out of trouble yet again.
They do, and I think Ben Seamer's kicking is going to be a real asset to Seattle this year. Seamer and McGee are both USA fly halves. McGee is in the squad, Seamer is not in the squad, but I think in the kicking game today, Seamer's actually had the advantage, and he showed it right there. When you're inside the 22, if you can get the line out outside of your half, that's a high-quality kick. It puts the Raptors in a position where they have to attack from their own half. That changes your game plan.
Crowd getting involved here as Cook takes out at 6. They come now wide. Carl Simpson gets that one through. Turner again, just gets a lazy hand to it. This one backwards though. Down the blind side, bounces up. Tolitahu can't handle. And now it's the Seawolves making mistakes, gifting the ball back to the Raptors. And you can see the physicality of this opening 50 minutes, Pete, maybe starting to take its toll. The bench could become critical here.
Oh, I think the bench is going to be absolutely critical so early on in this half. Sorry, early on in the season, these players are not yet game ready. So the players that can come off the bench and the players that stay on the field that can play the whole way are going to be critical. One of the interesting things to look at Glendale is sometimes they put Campbell in the line out and sometimes they put Hamasays in the line out, and that provides different options. So I think if you see Hamasays in the line out, it's a drive. If you see Campbell in the line out, they move it wide.
McGee picking up Davidson. Such a great attacking winger. Harley Davidson, great name too. Ryberg. Try scorer. Down that wing early in this second half, sorry. As Davies now, numbers to his right, finds Cook. Cook, a little shuffle there from Cook as he takes it to the goalpost. Now McGee likes what he sees down this left side. Tipped up, that's turned over and play on for the Seawolves. Looked like Brock Staller, that was actually Smith, sorry, who got himself involved there. And Seamer will clear, McGee. Nothing but watch this one over the sideline. As the Seawolves fan, they breathe a sigh of relief. It was Staller, actually.
It was Staller, and again, against the set defense and this strong Seawolf defense, Glendale don't seem to have many options. They don't seem to have any steppers, and it's really hard for them to be able to break the line, and again, Seamer with a good kick. Looks like it's a shortened line out here for Glendale, so I'll look to see Luke White either come through the middle as a ball carrier, or potentially, as they've been moving it wide, using him as a dummy runner, passing behind him.
There's Zach Fenolio, 2015 World Cup with the USA Eagles. Off the bench, MVP last year for the Raptors, Fenolio. He will take a reduced workload this year with the addition of Chad Goff.
Scored 7 tries from hooker last year. Really remarkable return.
Sepalawi, another touch for Marco. Is now London.
Looks like Glendale are playing a much more direct game, trying to set the ball up in the middle to be able to provide opportunities.
Turner flirting with the sideline, and he loses that battle. I was just about to say, Pete, that's a better option for McGee. They've had some success in the lineup while Seattle's hasn't been as strong.
Well, I think when you put the ball into the middle of the pitch, it asks a lot of questions of the wings. The wings have to make a choice about whether they stay up and leave the space behind, or whether they drop back and leave the space wide. So we're seeing a pretty good change by Dave Williams at half time to be able to, hey, let's sit up in the middle and then let's use our playmakers and put those wings under pressure. Great attacking opportunity here.
Fenolio on point to Daly. Still got it, the old man Fenolio, hasn't he? A little bit of zip on those throws.
Again, you can see the great setup that they have for them all.
McGee lets one go before picking up Ryberg on the inside. The defense up to the task. Is now Palawi. Advantage here to the Raptors.
I think McGee's going to be looking for a drop kick or a cross kick, one of the two. You can see him drop back into the pocket.
3 points wouldn't be a bad option here, Pete. Gives them a little bit more breathing room. He starts to push up a little flatter now. Under pressure. Back to his right. DTS off the right foot. There's Fenolio. McGee to the line. Davidson under pressure. Loops that one out. Hermasays. see the increased involvement from Hunko Hermesses has certainly helped the Raptors here in the second half. Monroe. Another good touch there for the young Australian.
Just a little bit too slow down. It's a real struggle for them to break the line when everything just is a bit too much of a fight at the breakdown.
Now Rogers. Davies wants to play quick here. McGee, long lofted pass, finds Ryberg. He's got Hermesses on his outside, Ryberg. You can tell when he tucks that ball under one arm, he's not going to pass it. And Stahler shoots in and shuts him down. White now. He takes it to 10 out from the line.
You can see some of the Seattle forwards really struggling.
Talk of struggling. Cousset having all sorts of troubles picking that ball up, and now the turnover for the Seawolves. As they will look again to transition ball here, Pete, to attack quickly. Seema, right pass, one bounce for Hutting. Golitahu, drawing pass, Stahler now, needs a chip over the top. He goes to it, Fenolio can't keep up. Bounce for Stahler. Stahler's over. What a great try for Brock Stahler. He does it all himself for the Seawolves.
Wow, that is a really, really classy try. Just beautiful play. Great hands there by Ricard Hadding and Vili to be able to move that ball wide. But after that, it was all Stahler, and you can see a little bit of cramp coming in as you get into the 60th minute. But you can see pass not great, but Hatting right here, beautiful timing. And look at Vili's pass, draws and pass, and then it's Fenolio, just doesn't. He's an old man, and he's a hooker, so he's not going to be able to keep up with the wing. And a beautiful gather, and that puts them right back into it. And again, we see Seattle playing so well in that transition game, and we also see Glendale struggling against the Seawolf. And I think that's really the issue for Glendale. They have to play much more direct. They can't move it wide. That's what Seattle want you to do. And then Seattle need to take opportunities as they come, just like they did there.
Well, he's put his hand up for try of the round already with that one, Brock Stahler. Individual brilliance from the Canadian winger. And he will look to convert his own try to return this to a one-point ball game. Stahler, no mistakes. 18-17, Raptors in the lead. We'll take a short break. When we return, the second half concludes.
Hey, Daryl.
Hey, Thomas.
If you were choosing a network, would you want the one the experts at Rootmetrics say is #1 in the nation?
Sure. They probably know what they're talking about.
Or the one that J.D. Power says is highest in network quality by people who use it every day?
This is a tough one.
Well, not really, because Verizon won both, so you didn't have to choose.
Why didn't you just lead with that?
It's like a fun thing.
Chosen by experts, chosen by you. And now get Apple Music included on us. It's the unlimited plan you need on the network you deserve. Switch now and get $300 off our best phones.
Tired of lugging around big bags of pet food and litter? Get it delivered. Chewy.com delivers everything your pets need right to your door. They ship all your favorite brands of dog food, cat food, litter, toys, and treats, all at amazing prices. Plus, you get fast, free shipping. With Chewy.com, you don't have to break a sweat or the bank.
Save 20% on your first order and get fast, free shipping. Shop online at Chewy.com.
This enthralling battle keeps on giving here on a Sunday night in Seattle as the Seawolves claw back to within 1 point. And we will go down to the sideline with Stacey Pates and Glendale head coach Dave Williams.
Dan, as always, thank you so much. Coach Williams, you made some necessary adjustments at the half. They paid quick dividends. What are some things now, though, that need to be minimized?
I think it's just our mistakes. We've got great possession in territory, which is our mistakes has given Seattle the chance to get back into the game. Like we had a huge amount of pressure and territorial advantage, and we turned the ball over and they went 80 metres and scored a try. So I think if we go through our phase, go through our possession, then we'll be in really good stead for the rest of the second half.
We knew that this would be an emotional match as well. How do you teach your guys to keep their emotions under check?
I think you try it in training every day. You know, you build that intensity, you build that pressure in training, and they react accordingly. So when they come to a game on the weekend, it's not anything new they haven't experienced.
We appreciate your time, Coach. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Dan?
Well, I mean, really, really interesting response there, and I think this is a great test for Glendale. Just like Dave Williams said, it is their errors. It was their errors in the final that lost the game, and their reaction here now, they're under pressure again, will be critical.
As the Seawolves through Hutting will bring this ball back. Final 15 minutes here at Stafire Stadium. 1-point ball game. Smith off the left boot. He finds the sanctuary of the sideline, and it'll be a line out for the Raptors, and you almost get the feeling it's going to come down to either a big mistake or a little bit of individual brilliance.
I think that's right. I mean, we've seen it all weekend in Major League Rugby, that the games are close and they come down to what happens at the end. I think what we're going to see is we're going to see the teams that really take their opportunities when they get near the line are going to be the ones that are able to pull this out. Anyone's game.
Manolio on point, finds Cook. White, very flat ball to White. Zuniula screaming for assistance out here. Now Davies changes direction with London. London, Davidson. Davidson, there's the error, the Seawolves right, and now the turnover ball. Duchel, US Air Force captain, on the field for the Seawolves.
Well, Dave Williams said it's about their errors, and again, a real struggle for Glendale to be able to hold on to the ball under the pressure. And right here, you can see Duchel come up. It's a back row forward on a wing, but he was able to take Harley Davidson in, and he was able to just get him to knock that ball on, and really great defense. But that's what the Seawolves do. They play that great defense, and Glendale, even though it's 6 months later, is still struggling to have an answer for it.
Well, in fairness, not too many sides did have an answer for it last year. Seattle's only losses coming to the Raptors here early in the season, also at home.
Well, I think the big difference here is the scrum has been very, very even, but the line-out hasn't. And I still think that the line-out is still going to be a critical benefit for Glendale.
Seema comes to Zuniula. Gordon, the replacement. Come back down now to this blind side. Lienitz picks up Stoller. Talking about individual brilliance. Opening this game up, it could be Brock Stoller. Now Rasalika picks up Tolatahu. See the difference there between the sides, Pete. Seattle go forward before pushing the ball wide, creating those opportunities on the fringes. As now referee's whistle goes.
Yeah, it looks like an unforced error there, just taking it in. But you can see the new scrum half, JP Smith, really providing a little bit of speed and zip. He, like we said, he's a different scrum half to Phil Mack, and that's what's allowing Seattle to be able to move that ball wide. But like you said, they're earning that right. I think Glendale and I think Will McGee needs to have a little bit more patience, work it through the middle a little bit, move wide and change direction.
And some more changes coming into the front row. There's Blake Rogers. What a shift for the big man. He punches his ticket, replaced by Lum in the 17. As Crusade under pressure, another handling error for Crusade. Well, it's been a real mixed night for the youngster Crusade, hasn't it, Pete?
I think it has. I mean, I think he's still on the learning curve. Last year, he played a lot on the wing and not so much in the center, but 13 is definitely where they see him playing, but just not able to hold that ball into contact. And I think if we see, what we might see is he's carrying the ball with his right arm only, and if you carry the ball with your right arm and you take it into contact and you don't protect it, then you're going to find yourself losing the ball. And you can see right there, he needs to, what they say is body before ball. He needs to switch the ball to his left arm so he can use his shoulder to protect.
There you see Melon El Jabore, USA 7's player, comes on for White. He'll shift back to 8 though, as they make some adjustments to the pack.
Definitely adding some dynamic play as this game opens up.
Very flat back line here for Seema. Goes to the line, turns Stoller. So now the Seawolves just 1 point in arrears of the Raptors here. A penalty. Enough to give them the lead. Plenty of time left on the clock though, Peters. We enter the final 10 minutes here. Another penalty though while in possession against the Seawolves. And you can see just the calming influence on the Raptors of senior players like Davies and McGee just slowing proceedings down.
Yeah, that's right, and some really good defense there by Glendale. They were able to defend Brock Stoller, and then they were able to defend Tolotau, and that led to the turnover. Really great contest at the breakdown, and I think it's the subs that are coming in and really making a difference here. This is going to be a big line-out, because if they win their line-out and they're able to play with some pace, they've got an opportunity to get the try or just the 3 points, which would give them a little bit of breathing room. If you have a look, you can see the contest from this ruck. It comes in, great drive, but look at that. Look at Hanko, and he comes in and is able to take players out, and because the ball carrier wasn't able to go forward, that's what allowed that turnover.
And there you see the response from the Raptors. Cruze hits the bench. Robbie Petzer, he comes on, stolen by the Seawolves though. Seema, we've got some numbers here. Suniula goes wide. Now Stoller. Ryberg up to the task.
Good defense.
He's not going to let his opposite number get around him twice in one night. Now Duchel. Driven back there. Strong tackle from the Raptors. Seema, flat pass. Lienert to Barton. Barton back to Seema. Seema spots an opening. Kicks. Ricochets. Back to Seema. Well, it's high octane stuff here from the Seawolves. Now Hudding. Sunial loops. Flat pass. Tolitahu. I feel like I've seen this before. Pete Steinberg. Stoller one-on-one. Can't get away. Now, was that a high tackle against Turner? We will wait for referee DeLuca's whistle. It's not forthcoming, and the flag goes up. Ball over the sideline.
Wow, some really great play going on here. And what they're doing, Dan, it's a little bit different than Glendale, is that they're using their forward runners in the middle. And we can see a kick to your safe self, which is so unusual by Seema, but he's able to use his great hands, be able to hold onto the ball and generate that go forward. And as the ball comes wide, so the question is this a high tackle as they come in? Right there, that looks high to me, Dan. I think that should be a penalty and maybe a yellow card. Anything above the shoulder nowadays is definitely a penalty and a yellow card there, and I think that's one that the referee missed.
We have timeout for Al Jabori. Fresh on the field, getting some running repairs.
So here we see again, and they come in. Little bit of effort there as the ball went wide. Some questions, I think, by the Seattle players. But maybe Al Jabori is surprised this game has gone on more than 7 minutes, and that's why he needs to take a breather.
Yeah. One game, Pete. We're all playing 7s and 15s. Shepherd throw, stolen for Nolio.
Neither team is working well with their substitutes in the line-out, and that's not unusual because line-outs are about reps, and your substitutes just don't normally get those reps.
Petzer, well, not a good start there for Robbie Petzer in his Raptors debut. That one out on the full, it'll come all the way back to where he kicked it. It'll be a line out for Seattle. As we enter the final 10 minutes here, Pete, this one could come down to a penalty kick at the very death.
Absolutely, with only 10 minutes to go and 1 point in it. And we were just explaining the kicking rules. So if you kick the ball out directly and you're outside of your 22, it comes back to where you kicked it from. You only gain the territory if you're inside your own 22.
Well taken by Seattle, of course. Just last night, the ice veins of Sam Windsor in full effect down in Austin, Texas, as he slotted a penalty as time expired to give Houston a win. Did we see a carbon copy here tonight? Lienert.
Well, we're in kickable distance here, so we need some real discipline, but they'll take that turnover.
No advantage there for the Raptors. We'll come back for the handling error. That's a critical one. Seema just slips through his fingers. We talked about that result last night. Houston getting a win over Austin, starting their season on a winning note after a disappointing 2018. And Pete, another team that started well, New Orleans. That game, a real good one down there.
Absolutely, and you can see all the results. They're also close. And Dan, in the Major League Rugby Kickoff podcast, the official one, you are 3-0 so far this weekend, and I think I am 0-3.
Yeah, thank you very much to Rooney. Ben Foden makes a successful debut in his American rugby career down there for Rugby United New York over San Diego. Tough road trip to New York to San Diego. So that will definitely be a much appreciated win for the Rooney fans back in New York.
I think that this could be the most competitive professional league in the world. Last year, every game was competitive, and we're finding that again this year.
Well, we have a real tight one here, just 1 point separating these sides. There's a penalty, a very kickable penalty to Pete Steinberg. Now, Hunko Hermer says he needs to be careful here. A yellow card would leave the Raptors depleted to 14 players for the rest of this match. And there's Billy back to his peacemaking ways. He's recovered.
I'm wondering if Billy is actually a peacemaker or if he's like an instigator in disguise, but we've been wondering when the scrum is really going to show for Seattle, and it looks like it's the bench that's really causing them the opportunity. So John Hayden, of course, and Kellen Gordon, two props that had lots of experience last year, come in and really put so much pressure on Glendale that they had to pick the ball up from the middle of the scrum, and then the referee called them for it.
Well, he's been pretty good with the boot tonight, Stoller. Just one miss. None more important than this one. And you can feel the tension come over the crowd here at Starfire. Absolute packed house tonight. They have hung on tenor hooks as this side has battled back and forth with the Raptors. Now, their fate sits on the right boot of Brock Stoller. And Seattle like it. The crowd, they rise as one as they retake the lead, 20 points to 18. 6 minutes left on the clock here for the Seawolves.
And we heard Dave Williams say he tries to recreate these situations in practice to put the players under pressure. This is a great challenge, but there's time. There's no need to do anything stupid on Glendale. Just play your game.
That one uncontested over the sideline. The line out here for Seattle, it really has been their Achilles heel tonight though, Pete, the line out.
It absolutely has, and a great pressure kick. If you ever want to know if it's going to make it, just look at the kicker, and you can see Stoller right there made the kick, and then immediately had a look and then turned away and said, oh, that one's going through. We've got 5 minutes to go.
Well taken. Smith comes across to the shell.
Finally a short line out by Seattle. Great decision, helps them win the ball.
Seema very deep here in the pocket, not wanting the chance. Off a charge down, Smith goes high with the box. Contest in the air, DeLuca happy with it. As the Raptors have the ball, there's some opportunities out to this side. They come that way, firstly with Munro. Will Munro takes one up, McGee. Hetzer. He's crunched. Ball comes down. Now Ryberg. He runs into a brick wall named Barton. Not rolling away against Barton there though. A little too enthusiastic at the breakdown on Ryberg, and a big penalty here for the Raptors. Oh, and a long-range bomb for McGee. We saw Barton in the first, sorry, not Barton, Stoller in the first half, Pete. He did not kick well going into this direction. Not much of a win to speak of. This would be a monster kick for McGee, well over 50 meters.
Absolutely, but he isn't going to take it unless he knows he's got a pretty good shot this point in the game. So I think during the warm-ups he said, hey, I was able to make this, and he's made kicks like this before. And of course, Ben Seamer, famous for making a 55-meter kick like this to win the game for the US U20s against Canada down in Austin. So McGee will try and recreate that.
Well, one thing I can guarantee, Pete Steinberg, the crowd will not give him any silence to kick this ball. He is going to do it in very hostile conditions if he makes it. Strikes good, McGee turns, it stays across the face and short as well. Seamer looks to clear this down into the Raptors half. DTS with the ball to Kator Simpson.
Great kick chase.
Hermes, well met. Duchel, fresh legs for the Seawolves. Slow ball to Luca, letting it play though.
This is exactly what Seattle want. They want the opposition to have the ball, but in their own half. Let their defense win the game for them.
Lum, the replacement, prop forward. Now some numbers here. Petza slices through. Needs some support, it's slow coming. Ricochet back to Cook. Cook's finally brought down. I'm not sure if they're going to want him to take much more yardage here, the Seawolves. Glendale inching closer. We know McGee can hit a drop goal. As Fenolio. Has to be careful not to be isolated here. Could be turned over. No, good clean out comes in from the Raptors. Munro takes a flat pass from Davies. Well, what an opening weekend this has been, Pete Steinberg. All the matches coming down to the very last second. This one no different.
Glendale's just a little bit too flat when the ball moves wide. They can't take the ball at pace. It's playing into Seattle's hands. Like we said before, their forwards have to do their work through the middle.
McGee looks for the little pop. Bryberg, though, can't handle. I don't think Turner will be too upset with the double knock on this. Will soak up some valuable time as the scrum packs down. Well, they're going to earn this win.
Absolutely, and again, it's the defense. Look, as they come up, they squeeze around the ball, and it's Villy right there, able to make that tackle, and Ryberg just loses that ball in contact. It's the errors that have always held back Glendale from being able to fulfill their potential. Even last year, Dan, in the games that they were winning, they had some of the highest handling errors in the game, and it's really showed up here. But you can see players all around the pitch. First game of the season, it's a cold night. You're probably not hydrating as much as you should. Everyone's going to be a little stiff at the end of the game.
There you see the Raptors pack. They understand what is ahead of them here if they are to steal this victory from the Seawolves.
Well, Gordon and Hayden dominated the last Raptors scrum. If I'm them and I'm here with a minute or two to go, keep it in, get the drive, and see if you can get that penalty.
You see Chad London just helping out with the GPS of Harley Davidson. Well, rugby in 2019, it's become state of the art, hasn't it, Pete?
Absolutely, absolutely. They know exactly what these guys do. They track them. They track not just how far they run, how fast they run, but the other thing, Dan, about this is they can track collisions. So they can track momentum. So they know how many tackles you've made and how many times you've been hit. Richie Walker there will be very, very nervous, but pretty happy so far, I think. And we'll be looking forward to this strong scrum to put this away.
Well, he may get the keys to the city if they can hold on for a win here, Richie Walker.
Maybe. I think what's going to be interesting here is that scrum went down, and it will be really interesting if it goes down again, what the referee's going to do. There's a lot of question about how referees call the scrum and if they give the advantage to the dominant scrum. So we know the Seattle is a stronger scrum. Let's see how this goes.
JP Smith, he will have to put in. Good push from the Raptors though. Politahu off the back. Gets away from Davies.
Slow it down and hold on to the ball. That's all they need to do.
As we enter the final 60 seconds here in Seattle. The Seawolves holding on by 2 points over Glendale. As Smith steps in again. Pressure in the counter ruck coming in from the Raptors. Smith does well. Seamer shapes to kick. Wisely keeps the ball in hand. And he's got down there. You'd think the Raptors had to release DeLuca though. I'm okay with him letting that go. Let these teams play. Let them figure out who's going to win and lose tonight. There's another strong counteract comes in from the Raptors. DeLuca though playing advantage. It looks like a handling error, Pete.
Absolutely. So a great counteract. You could really see Glendale was sourcing that breakdown, trying to win that ball, but it looks like as they won it, they tried to pick it up and they knocked it on. So it's another scrum here. And you were right. I think Seattle were really surprised by the pressure in the last scrum. I'm not sure that Glendale will be able to get that again.
Well, 79 minutes, you're down by 2. They shouldn't be surprised. Glendale are going to bring pressure. I mean, they really have to. No one sitting down here at Starfire. I'm not sitting down. Richie Walker, he's pacing up and down, the Seattle head coach. And we knew these two were going to be tight. We had no idea it was going to be this close. So 20 points to 18. The Seawolves looking to hold on here. Start their championship defense with a win at home. Smith under pressure. Suniula over the sideline. We look at DeLuca. There's the whistle. And they hold on. It's a repeat of last year's champion, Seattle. They get it done at home. Round 1, 20-18 over the Raptors. And Pete, what a war we just witnessed.
Wow. I didn't think they could live up to their games last year, but I actually think this was a higher quality game. It was played at a faster pace. We saw the new players coming in and making a difference. And Seattle, again, played in that transition and was able to play well.
And there you see the final score, 20 points to 18. Seattle, they claim another victory over the Raptors at home. When we return, we'll digest all the happenings of an enthralling 80 minutes.
The Andersons love to visit Seattle. There's so much to see and do. And after a long day of seeing and doing, they return to Seattle's South Side to kick back and have fun. So much fun. Come stay and play in Seattle's backyard. Seattle Southside.
There are those who stand forever ready. Ready to defend the nation. Ready to fight for what matters. No matter what.
Let's go! Get my round in there!
Do you have what it takes? Find out at goarmy.com/warriors.
That rocking chair would look great in our new house.
Oh, a new house, eh? Well, you should definitely see how Geico could help you save on homeowners insurance.
Nice tip. I'll give you $2 for the chair.
2? That's a Victorian antique.
All right. How much for the recliner then?
Wait. How did that get out here? That is definitely not for sale.
Is this a yard sale?
If it's in the yard, then it's for sale.
Here we go.
Geico. It's easy to switch and save on homeowners and renters insurance.
In Chili Nation, we love our football. Especially when our football is filled with chili. Cheese dip. This is our chili, Hormel chili. We are Chili Nation.
There's something for everyone at Golden Corral. Let's talk about their wings. Get them sweet, spicy, even boneless. Get as much as you want for one low price. It's Wingfest. For a limited time, only at Golden Corral.
Are you getting the most out of your Medicare plan? Are you sure? Many people with Medicare are eligible for plans that include extra benefits in addition to those found in Original Medicare. Benefits like dental, vision, and prescription drug coverage. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free and there is no obligation to enroll. In addition to hospital and medical coverage at no extra cost, you could also get coverage for prescription drugs, dental, hearing, vision, and more. In many areas, plans with benefits are available with $0 copays for many services, $0 monthly premiums, or $0 deductibles. That's hospital, medical, prescription drug, dental coverage, and more included in one plan with premiums that may be as low as $0 a month. Call now to see if you're eligible to enroll. The consultation is free and there's no obligation to enroll.
Call 1-800-719-7345. That's 1-800-719-7345. Call 1-800-719-7345.
Expectations are sky high. The atmosphere is sure to be electric.
So check it.
Well, here we go. We're underway. Nice pass. What a move that was.
He can beat you in a lot of ways. Dynamite out deep. Let's go, let's slam. Leaving it all out there. Whoa, what a shot. That's great college basketball.
And welcome back as we watch the definitive moment of tonight. Brock Stoller, right foot, right between the posts. That was enough for the Seawolves to get the win over the Raptors, 20 points to 18. We're going to go down onto the field now with that man, Richie Walker, who celebrates his first week with the Seawolves with a win.
And listen, yeah, it was the kicking skill of this gentleman right here, Brock Stoller, but I don't want anyone to forget that one-handed catch down on the sidelines. Y'all remember that? I know you remember that. Talk about what was going through your head.
I know I'm just thankful my teammates put me in a position to make a play. You know, one hand saw some space and put it behind, but it was a tough game today, and all credit to the boys.
It was tough. How did you guys rise above? Because we know the storied franchise that is the Glendale Raptors, and you repeated and got a win on your home turf.
No, we trusted the system. The fans definitely helped us come back and win, but we have a lot of things to work on moving forward, but we got to thank our fans for keeping us in the game.
Fans will always have your back. What are those things you need to work on?
Just our structure and loose play and open play, just getting to the right spots of the field. We stayed inside the 15s quite a bit in this game and couldn't get to a sideline or an edge to set up our attack. You know, credit Glendale for doing that to us, but we'll look at the film and we'll figure it out for next week.
They came out in the second half and they had clearly made some adjustments, paid dividends quickly. How did you all keep your emotions in check?
I don't know. Again, it just comes down to trusting our process and trying to stick with those things, I guess.
Well, Brock already has a lot of good things in store. Looking ahead for your team, you've already mentioned it, things you need to work on, but defending the Shield, what kind of mental weight is attached to that?
Well, it's a lot. We talked about, you know, everyone has our number for this upcoming season, but we're going to rise to the occasion every time. You know, I back our boys, you know, our values, family, integrity, excellence. That's what you see on the field, and that's what we talk about in the locker room.
Well, you're off to a good start defending your home turf. Thanks a lot for your time.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Congratulations on the win.
Well, I think Brock Stoller, Dan, has already scored one of the tries of this very young season, and what we're seeing here is the development of an amazing rivalry.
Well, Pete, what I want to get your thoughts on, Glendale come out of the gates in the second half, make some adjustments, 2 quick tries, 15 straight points in total, but the Seawolves rally yet again. How about this Seattle side?
Absolutely, but I think we've seen this before. We've seen Seattle use their defense to be really, really effective and to be able to live off this home field advantage they have with this amazing crowd. I really think that they're going to be another team that's really tough to beat. They have 60%, they're 40% of possession, 40% of territory, but they win the game.
There were some question marks over Glendale coming into this game, a lot of turnover in their roster. I think they answered some of those questions tonight. They're still a very competitive side.
Absolutely. These are going to be 2 of the best teams. They're going to be really competing for the playoff spots, but really it was taking the opportunities that they really were able to take in that second half, particularly the kick at the end.
And that wraps things up from Seattle tonight, where the Seawolves have run out winners, 20 points to 18. For Pete Steinberg, Stacey Pates, I'm Dan Power, saying good night and goodbye. This has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of sports.